Veteran's trembling hands clutch a flag. He doesn't want attention, only to honor his brother, a fallen soldier. But then, a security guard glances at him and kicks him out. The reason? No paperwork proving he served. No one asked his name. No one knew that in just a few minutes, a 4-star general would cancel the entire memorial because of what happened. This isn't an old tale. It's one of thousands of veteran stories, stories of forgotten heroes. And if you still believe justice only comes to those with a voice, stay, because this is Justice for Veterans. Narration tone: slow, low, vivid, and emotional imagery. The old man walks slowly across the stone pavement, cold wind slipping through the sleeves of his worn military coat. His name is Franklin Miller, 92 years old, a veteran who served in Korea and Vietnam. In his hands a triangularly folded flag, bound with a silver ribbon. He pauses beneath the statue of the Midnight Sentinel, whispers softly, "We're still here, brother," then moves on. It's December 7, Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. A large ceremony is underway inside the museum. He wants in, not to honor himself, but simply to lay the flag beneath the name of his fallen brother. He doesn't know yet. That name is about to change everything. Narration tone: somber, underscoring disrespect and injustice. Frank steps toward the security checkpoint. A young guard looks up and frowns. "Where's your military ID, sir?" Frank pauses. He pulls out an old photo of him beside a jeep, in uniform, beaming. "I served in Incheon and Hisan." The guard glances at it, chuckles. "Sorry, sir. Old photos aren't valid proof. No VA card or discharge papers. You can't enter." Frank starts to say something, but stops. His eyes fall to the flag in his hands. A woman behind him giggles. He probably thinks he's someone important. A cold gust slaps his face. The guard steps back, gestures outward. "Please leave. This area is for invited guests." Frank says nothing. He turns around and walks away. No one knows they just turned away, a legend lost from the nation's memory. Narration tone: slow, subdued wind, sound only, no music. Frank walks away, step by slow step. Behind him, people keep laughing, talking as if he were invisible. Wind tugs at the faded military coat, blows his knit cap off. He bends down, trembling, to pick it up. One hand still clutching the flag, sharp corners, precise folds, untouched by time. He glances back once more. Inside the hall, lights glow bright. People raise glasses, shake hands, smile in ceremonial pride. No place for him there. Frank exits the grounds. Snow begins to fall. Across the street, a middle-aged woman stops, phone in hand. Her eyes follow the old man unblinking. She presses a number and speaks. "I need to report something. An elderly man just got kicked out of a memorial." Narration tone: steady, gradually tightening, emphasizes unexpected connection. "What's his name, did you say?" Colonel Laura Bennett's voice comes through the phone, calm but firm. She's at the regional military office, watching the memorial live stream. On the other end, Emily, the woman who witnessed it, recounts everything. His name was Frank Miller. He carried a carefully folded flag, looked very solemn, but the guard kicked him out, rudely. Laura freezes. That name rings a bell. She switches lines immediately. "Get me General McAllister, now." At the Pentagon, inside a secure meeting room, a general is reviewing his speech notes when his phone buzzes. "General McAllister, there's something you need to hear, and only you." Narration tone: firm, steady building toward climax. General Thomas McAllister is meeting with his advisors about the memorial speech. Aide leans in and whispers, "Frank Miller was turned away from the museum, no documents." McAllister freezes. The pen in his hand drops to the table. "Frank Miller?" He repeats it like he can't believe his ears. For a moment, the room is silent. McAllister stands abruptly, chair scraping. "He's still alive?" No one answers. The general clenches his fist. "That man saved my father at Incheon. If not for him, I wouldn't be here." He turns to his aide. Get the car. Cancel all my appointments. We're going to the museum now. A man once cast out is now about to make the entire US military stop and listen. Narration tone. Firm, sharp shift in atmosphere. Power building. Inside the museum, the ceremony continues. Speeches. Applause. Shiny medals pinned to proud chests. But outside, sirens pierce the cold air. A line of black military vehicles rolls into the museum grounds. Tinted windows, American flags mounted, special license plates. Everyone knows these are no ordinary cars. Security grows tense. Guests murmur. A senior official asks, "Something's off. Who's arriving?" The central SUV door swings open. General Thomas McAllister steps out. He doesn't greet anyone, doesn't shake hands. He simply adjusts his cap and says 3 words. Stop. The ceremony. Narration tone. Assertive, unwavering, tight dialogue. The entire hall goes silent as General McAllister walks onto the stage. The host stammers, "General, sir, the ceremony is..." McAllister raises a hand. "I know, but the one who truly deserves to be honored is outside, in the cold." He turns and locks eyes with the stunned security guard. "Who gave you the authority to dismiss a veteran just because he didn't have a plastic ID?" The guard stammers, I didn't know who he was." McAllister speaks each word with force. "Exactly, and that's the problem." He turns to the museum board. "You planned a grand ceremony, yet forgot the man who truly mattered." No one speaks. His gaze sweeps across the room. Frank Miller once saved a man's life in war. That man was my father. If he's not allowed in today, then this ceremony means nothing. Narration tone, deep, emotional, slow, weighty delivery. The hall remains frozen. General McAllister takes a deep breath, then speaks. Franklin Miller fought in Incheon in 1950. When his unit was surrounded, he ran through gunfire, pulled 4 men to safety. One of them was Sergeant Joseph McAllister, my father. He looks around the room. Frank was nominated for the Medal of Honor, but he declined. Instead, he sent all his medals to the widow of his brother who died in battle soon after. Soft murmurs ripple through the crowd. McAllister nods slowly. The only things he kept were a bronze star and the flag from his brother's coffin. And today, we looked at him like a nobody. We forgot who preserved history with their own blood. Narration tone. Solemn, steady, not dragging, but deliberate. The flag Frank carried belonged to William, his younger brother. William died in Korea at just 19. Frank never married. He lived quietly beside a rusty tin box, a faded photo of 2 brothers, and the folded funeral flag. He folded it by hand. Every year, he brought it to the museum, but never once was allowed inside. Today, he asked for only one thing, to place the flag beneath the name of his lost brother. But both that memory and that pain were stopped by a cold nod. Odd. Narration tone. From cold to warm, rich imagery, Frank sat curled on a bus stop bench. Snow settling on his shoulders, hands still clutching the flag. Streetlight flickered above. No one noticed him until a black SUV pulled up. A young officer stepped out, posture sharp. He approached, saluted. "Sir Franklin Miller, I'm Lieutenant James O'Connor. General McAllister respectfully invites you back. A vehicle is waiting." Frank froze. The wind was still cold, but for the first time that day, he didn't feel alone. Narration tone. Ceremonial, building dignified but restrained. The SUV door opens. Frank steps out, still holding the flag. But this time, no cold stares. Dozens of eyes follow him. Silent, reverent. Each step he takes slow and steady, feels like history returning to its rightful place. Inside, General McAllister stands waiting. As Frank approaches, the general salutes by the book. No words, just eyes warm and full of respect. Frank nods back, his throat tight. McAllister whispers, just loud enough for the 2 of them. I owe you an apology and a lifetime." Frank says nothing. He simply lifts the flag and says, "For William." The entire hall rises. No cue needed. A soldier has returned, and a nation bows its head. Narration tone. Soft, reverent, like narrating a sacred ritual. In the central exhibit hall, a special space was cleared. A new glass case, lit gently from above with a golden hue. Inside the triangular flag, aged by time. Below it, a brass plaque carefully mounted, etched into it. Franklin J. Miller Brother, soldier, keeper of memory. And beside it, smaller, William Miller, fallen in Korea, 1953. No speeches, no applause, only silence. A silence that was full and real. Frank stepped back, eyes red. He touched the glass gently and whispered, "Welcome home, Will." Narration tone. Quiet, slow like speaking after a long storm. No one moved, no one left. In that moment, General McAllister turned to the crowd. He didn't stand on the stage. He stood below among everyone else, like a soldier. "I used to believe honor came from ceremony, but today I learned something new. There are people who don't need their names engraved in gold. They just need to be seen, to be thanked, to be saluted properly." He looked toward Frank, now seated in the back row. "And maybe the greatest example of honor comes from those forgotten." McAllister nodded gently. "Today, we don't just remember a man. We remember why we're here in the first place." Narration tone. Reflective, full of gravity, like a shared vow with the audience. The ceremony ends. The flag rests quietly in its glass home. But the most important thing wasn't the flag. It was that the story behind it was finally told. We can't rewrite the past, but we can restore dignity to those who've been silenced too long. Frank is one of them. And there are thousands more veterans, still living in the shadows, nameless, voiceless. If you believe justice shouldn't only belong to the loud, type below, "Justice for Frank." So he becomes more than a memory. He becomes a symbol of awakening. And if you've heard an untold story, send it to us. Because this isn't just a storytelling channel. This is justice for veterans.